Okay. What? Yeah, you can sit right there. It'd be great. You can sit here and stare at it if you want. I don't know. Oh, I don't care. Is everybody there? Anybody there? Can you hear me okay? Look, I'm even trying to get the light shining in my face and it's still red. I always struggle to find the right place in YouTube to go and do it. Gotta go get up, see if anybody submitted any questions. Oh. Yeah, doesn't help if I'm wearing red. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Idaho, California, Mesa, Arizona, Orem. I gotta go see if I can get my list here. Let's see. Must be losing my brains. Can't remember where to get that list, that spreadsheet. Do you know where it is, Ray? Oh, there it is. Alrighty. Let me just get down here, then we'll get going. All right, got some questions. That's good. Let me just format this here so I can read it. All right. All right, now I can pay attention. All right, can you hear me okay here? I got my thing going, I think. I don't know, does anybody hear me at all? Anybody hearing me? Hello? All right, thank you very much. No one ever said, they just said where they were from. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Well, you know, this COVID-19 thing is just wearing us all out. We meet on the computer. I got me a headset so that I don't have to worry about the noise around me, and a little microphone here, which helps too, because it's a noise canceling kind of thing. And we just keep plugging along. The team's actually doing really well. The team's been able to produce things that actually a little faster. I suspect it's because we're not in their way. There was one thing I gotta tell you about that I goofed. Let me go find it here. I have really good helpers who listen to this and then let me know where I messed up. So I'm going to find that thing. Okay, last time in my Facebook Live or YouTube, whatever you want to call it, I said that you could add additional information from the record after it has been already attached to the source just by going back to the source linker, and that is not correct. The review attachment just allows you to look at the record and the tree again, or to attach the other record versions to the other people. But in order to do it from the source linker, you have to detach and then reattach it, redo it through the source linker, which is a mess. So, I just go look at the sources and then add the events manually for those that got missed when you go and do it. Okay. So let me go look at a question. Here we go. Let's get started. Irene asked, are nicknames, married names, alternate names, and residences put in other information used by search engine in finding records, hints, and duplicates? And the answer to that one is yes. That one sounds kind of familiar, but maybe I didn't. I'm pretty sure I marked it. Should we put location according to the time of event or location is now? It doesn't really matter whether you put in old time location or the current location, because technically on the map they're the same area. We take either one and we're fine with that, and they map to the same place. So if we have older records and we find that they are mapped to the same physical place, then we'll show those. This is Peter. He says, I've seen some FamilySearch records have an edit option if it's been indexed incorrectly. I don't think it knows whether it's indexed incorrectly or not. It's just some of them have the edit option. Some records do not have the edit. Some of my people have had their names indexed incorrectly, and there isn't an edit option. Have you explain this, please? Yeah, it's there's changes and alterations that have to be done to the collection in order for it to support the edit option. And so the team is cruising along, getting collection by collection and adjusting it and fixing it so that it would accept the edit option. The intent is that everything would have the edit option so that any index could be corrected, and eventually someday I think we'll have the ability to have you even add some information that was not extracted or indexed. Sherry says anytime table on when someone can request a name that has been shared with the temple without having to contact the person who shared the name with the temple. Is there any time when this is going to happen? And the answer is, yeah, I think these were last week's, but I'll go ahead and answer them. The answer is yes. It's actually happened last week, I guess. No, first part of this week. We actually released the changes. It came with the 4 colors. And if you notice with the 4 colors now, you probably see more green temples in your tree. And that's because the green temples that there are 2 kinds of green temples. There's the ones that are 90-day, ones that are the traditional 2-year ones. Thank you, Jarrett. You just set that over there. So thank you very much. Went and got me a drink. And those 90-day ones are ones that are in the temple, been shared by somebody else, and you're welcome to just now click that green temple and reserve them and go take care of them. So you no longer have to go get a hold of the person who originally got the reservation and ask them to release it to you. You can just go to that person on the page and click it and take it. Next one here, I have significant number of people I have reserved. Periodically, I receive messages from FamilySearch that others would like to help me with these names I have reserved. I send those emails to those lists and willing to help, and very few accept those names. How often quite often I get questions back as to what I want. They don't understand the email, which just is a box that says shared temple names and the person's name who needs the work done. Could you fix the emails to explain better what these emails mean so there are more people that be willing to accept the names? Yeah, if you share them with a temple now, they're going to see them in the tree, so it's unclear how valuable that particular campaign. It was a campaign where we actually went to some people and asked, "Are you willing to help others who have reserved your ancestors?" And if they said yes, then they go to you and say, "Are you willing to share them with these people?" I don't know if they're going to continue to do that with the new approach now, where you see those as green temples, but they may. But I'll certainly pass this on to that team. Jim said, why does a possible duplicate exist under tools but not in research helps? Most people are likely to see the research help entries before the tool entries, and they're very different things. So actually, there isn't a possible duplicate anymore under the tools. Let me go just double check that. I'm pretty sure that's true. I'll bring up FamilySearch real quick and go to a person. I'm pretty sure that's gone now. But I haven't been down that end of the road. Let me just go. Where am I going here? And I'll go out here. Go get my grandparents, grandpa, and go down to the tools section, right-hand side, and it does have a possible duplicates. I think it's just there historically. This just opens up. What this does is it does the same thing as you do when you say show all up at the top of the research helps. So I just think it's an artifact of what we've had before. We probably don't need it any longer, but that's what that is. Okay. You mentioned that you did a Roots Tech presentation. Could you share the highlights of that with us sometime in the future? Yeah, I'll do that, Mary. And I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to try to do some practicing over the next couple weeks or so, and if I can find some time, and see how I can present the slides and myself in the same thing. Try to get a little bit more fancy, and maybe that'll look better, and you can feel like you're not talking to just a voice. This is Irene. When I go to find at the top of the page on FamilySearch and type in John Harris, born at 1600, Massachusetts, continues on. The first two who come up are John Harris, then John Harris with Elizabeth Wells showing as their spouse. However, when I click on John Harris, neither of them have a spouse. Elizabeth Wells can you see anything that I'm doing wrong? I'll have to go look at this one. Let me just mark this one here. Go try that on my own. This is Pete. We are able to have more than 50 folders in the source box, please. Well, currently we only have 50. I'll take that as well as something that's for us to talk about. We haven't really increased that because most people are turning off saving sources in the source box automatically. And so oftentimes they're just using hints and then clicking to attach it to a person. They don't necessarily want to clutter their source box with all those, but I'll go talk to the team again, see if we're interested in doing that. I also asked, when tagging in memory, it would be helpful if it would allow periods, commas, apostrophes, numbers, etc. Are you able to do this when you're tagging? I haven't tried that. Anybody out there tried that? Let me see. I'm tagging a memory. Let me go to a memory. And I'm going over here. I'm gonna add a tag. And John, yeah, I can add an apostrophe. And what else did he want? Commas, apostrophes, and numbers. Okay. John number 4. That seems to work okay. So that seems to be working all right. remember when you attach a memory or that tag to a person in the tree, we show what you put in originally in little characters, but we prominently put in the name that's in the tree. So just realize that maybe what you're seeing is something else. Is merge process complete? Yes. Okay. This is an older one, and it's been out for a couple weeks, and it's been frustrating for some, but we're all getting used to it. We did fix a bunch of things. Merge showing up a little better. Sources showing up that were detached. So we're continuing to find places we missed or bugs that didn't get that we thought were good and just weren't. Family member, here's Lisa. Family member has collected family history compilations, but instead of uploading them as a combined PDF, they upload them as separate JPEGs, JPG files, which clog up the memory section on those people. Once someone has added a picture, story, or document, no one else can edit it. Will there ever be a way for someone else to combine these images into one document? I tried to contact this person and they're not available to do that, and tried to give them instructions, but it's not gonna work out. So we are working on some updates to memories. One of the things we're talking about is to be able to allow you to combine a bunch of things together into one memory, like you have multiple pages of a document or something like this. You can put them together and say this is one memory. It would only show up as one, and then when you click it, you can expand it to be the others. So I think that will help when we get there, but that's going to still be a ways out. So let me go back, and then we'll see if there's anything on live. Is there anyone live asking questions? Let me go look here. A few weeks ago, you said marriage license date is not the marriage date. However, SourceLinker is using the marriage license dates as a marriage date for marriage licenses issued in Weber County. Okay. Well, thanks. I didn't think we were doing anything, offering anything that was a marriage license. So, just a second here. Got something come up here. It's a, okay, got it. Okay, just got to do a little something here on my computer because it wants to shut off my headsets, and I don't want that to happen. I figured out a way around it, and I forgot to do it, so I'm going to do it right now. Hold on a second. You can always find little tweaks, you know. Okay, here we go. So I'll have to check into that. Let me grab that. Now, we don't consider marriage license as official. That was told to us by the chief genealogical officer. So I am going to have to follow up with that and see what's going on there, so we can get that straightened out, whichever way it should be. Okay, next thing. Oh, Loom. Yeah, thanks for offering a. Yeah, okay. Thanks. All right, no more questions there. So let's go back to our list that people submitted. So if you have questions, just write them right into the chat there. Okay, here's the next one. This is Warren. Ooh, we're going to need some more because I only got 2 questions left. So Warren says, oh no, let me go back to this one here. When I am finished editing a couple relationship, the top of the screen contains a hyperlink saying go to couple relationship. When I click on that, it takes me back to the top of the person page where I originally was. I do a lot of data mining for sources going through multiple people. It would help me a lot if that hyperlink went directly to the family members tab. We don't have a family members tab, so I wouldn't have to repeatedly waste time and index finger calories scrolling back to the family members tab to continue where I was when I went to edit the marriage information. Okay, so this is when it would be good to have that. I think I found a tool, by the way, that will help me do this, where I can show a screen. So I could theoretically show a screen too and demonstrate it. But when you go to a person, go back to my grandpa, and you click on the couple relationship. Let me just go see here. Come on. Okay, go down to, let me go back. Just give me a second here. Recents. I go to the couple relationship down below. She says I click on it and it shows, it has a pop-up, just a pop-up. So you can scroll up and down and see it all. And this one actually has a source on it that I put on it. And when you're done with the couple relationship, I just click the X and the couple relationship goes away and I'm still on the same screen. So I don't think I understand that very well. Family members tab. So I'm not understanding where you go to the couple relationship. Top of the screen contains a hyperlink, go to couple relationship. I do not see that. So you need to help me understand better about what you're seeing. Let me go over here, chat, see if anybody else understands. Okay. All right. So I don't have I don't understand what that one is, so I can't answer it. So I'm going to move on. Let me go back over to the live and see what's there. It says message area of the home page has changed. There's a message area for messages and then the bell for found records. Thanks for indexing. Then there is a question mark for other resources like helper. That's right. So let me explain. We put out a new header menu. We often, most websites have to be very careful, including us, when you change your header, because that sort of changes the world. And we changed it today. And now it looks like it has the family tree. Let me go there. It has a family tree. It has search, memories, indexing, activities, temple. And then over on the right, it has a circle with a question mark. That's the help menu. When you click that, you get the same help menu that you got before with the getting started, the help center, contact us. That's all the same. Next to that, you have a little box that looks like a text box. It's supposed to represent a message. You click that and you see your either bolded or new messages you haven't read, or you'll see the last, I think it's 6 or 10 somewhere. You can scroll down through them. And then next to that is a bell, which stands for notifications. And what the notifications are is things that have come to you to notify you of things you can go do, like Homeland Discovery, headstones discovery, my military records, also your temple cards when we're telling you they were complete or expired. Those will also show up in notifications. So you have the circle with the question mark means help. The text box or little speaking box with a little tick on the bottom and lines in it is a message. So that means those are your new messages. And then the notification, which is the bell. And there should be a little dot on the messages or the notifications if there's new ones that you haven't opened the little, clicked on it and seen them in the list. Doesn't mean you have to answer them. Just means if you saw it in the list, then the little dot will go away. The reason why we did that instead of leaving words next to them was that there was a significant number of people who, when they look at their browser, they increase the size of the words or text inside the browser. And so they do that by doing Control Plus. Well, when you do that, the screen inside gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so they go full screen, but they're still not full screen as far as the computer is concerned. And so they don't see those menus over on the right-hand side. And so there was a lot of frustrations where people saw what's called the hamburger menu, which is the 3 lines over next to, so you can see my over next to the right, and that confused people. So we wanted to fix it so that it acted like it did before, meaning the standard size that was before, you'd still see all the menu. And the only way we could do that is by, you want to turn that light on, Sheree, and just point it at me just a little bit. I want to see because I'm pretty dark. Okay, that all right, up a little more. That's not up. That was down. Okay, I think that's better. Thank you. You leaving me now, huh? Hmm? Oh, you're gonna go sit out in front of the yard. Okay.
It's nice. It's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, folks.
Yeah.
Bed.
And so we removed the words and we put the symbols. We did a lot of testing with a lot of age groups, a lot of different places, different parts of the world, and they seemed to all get it. So we felt like that was pretty good compromise. So that's what's going on there. When will we be able to let our relatives view records or memories we upload for living persons to eliminate duplicate? Are you trying to eliminate duplicate living persons, or are you trying to eliminate duplicate memories? So you tell me. And the answer is you're not going to be able to eliminate fully living persons. Okay, just not going to happen. That's because every person that comes to Family Tree must have a living area so that they have the freedom to enter in any living they choose, which may not they may not be willing to share with others. So they must have a living area. And then when we have a shared area where people can when they can get invited and accepted, the owner of that area can invite you and accept and have you come, and you say, yeah, I want to, and then they accept you. You'll see the living copies that are in there. But the original in the private is still going to stay. So if you're looking for that in order to reduce merging when people start dying, then that's not what you're going to get. So I want to make it very clear that if we have these, we want to do these shared living area where people could put copies they're living in there. So there'll only be one copy in the shared area, but there'll probably be another copy in people's private areas potentially. And then people can add memories to the community one, the group one, and those memories won't be on the others if you don't go at them, which is okay. And so it's really the intent is so that you can be a larger family, have many generations that are living, that are all working in the same place to add memories or see memories. When people add, a new child was born, they could go add it in that area. And so that's the purpose of that. The next one was, I missed the way you could view the index information from within the merge dialog in the previous version. Now all you can see is the source citation, which isn't very helpful. Can we get that back? My understanding that they have shipped a new within the merge dialog. I don't think we've ever allowed you to go click on a source in the merge and see the indexed information. You could do that inside a search. You could do that before you go into source linker, or I guess there's a place up by the source linker where you say, look at the record, look at the image. You can do that, but not in a merge. I don't think we've ever had that in a merge. So you might want to think about that and see because you kind of got me confused when you got index information within merge in a previous version. So I don't think we've ever had that. When are they going to put the link to Genealogy Bank in the partners page? We're not planning to do that. We are introducing this slowly, and we're inviting certain people. And because we have limited access, unlike others, so this is not necessarily available to everyone. So if you're, I don't know what to do if you're interested. I don't know what to do there. Who you would talk to? Maybe I don't know. I'll try to find out for next time. If you add a source in the couple relationship, then you see it. Yeah, okay, someone's responding to that. I'll send you an email with a picture of the new temple queue bottom of page question I am asking. Yeah, Warren, send it to me right now. I'll go look. I think I still have my email going. If I don't, let me go get it started here. And then if I see it, then like maybe you answer the question right here. When will the shared living area go live? We have no time frame right now when that's going to happen. We are just in the beginnings. We are currently working on the ability to create a group and invite people to that group and accept people to that group and kick people out of that group. So that's what we're working on right now. That's just barely started. It's probably going to take a bit to do that. And then the next thing we're going to do is shared family reservation list. So that means that every group will have a reservation list. And then you could take your reservations, and instead of printing them out and sending them in mail or emailing PDFs around, you can just put those reservations and share them to your shared family group, and then everybody you've invited could go to that family reservation list and then print out the cards they want. So that's the idea. That's the first thing we're going to do. So it's not going to be till, maybe sometime in the next year before we're getting into having these living copies sitting in there, so you can do that. Sorry, we need to do it. It's a big job, and we're going to do it in pieces. So you'll see it as it comes. When will the share? Okay, that's it. I have it. Joyce Chancellor, I have it. I don't know what that means, but okay, you must be answering to somebody else. Oh yeah, okay. You got the genealogy bank one. Alrighty, let me go back and see if there was another question in there. Okay, on the new temple queue, my reservations and shared, the system breaks down the number of items displayed into pages. From a system standpoint, I understand why this is being done. However, can we get an option to show how many to display on a screen page like some other systems do, say 20, 50, 100 all? For other reasons, having the all option to the queue management is very important as your number of pages grows. For example, My shared queue was well over 100 pages. Even with the new filters, it can take a bit to find what you want. Yep. That's true. So what we're doing, first off, the new reservation list is just the beginning, phase 1, introducing the filters. But as you're finding out in the shared list, especially if you shared a lot of reservations or a lot of ordinances in your reservations, it could be a while to get those back out on the screen. And it's just a performance issue, mostly because it's a big giant database and you've got a lot of data. So what we're going to begin working on the rest of the year, probably spill into next year some, is changing the structure of the systems on the back end so they can do like Google, so that they can give you pages. So here's page 1, here's page 2, here's page 3. You'll look at the bottom somewhere. This is sort of what we're thinking of. You look at the bottom and you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ... You can go out further and you can jump from page to page. You'll be able to sort by some certain order like you want, and the pages then will come back down in the order that you choose. Give me Z first or A first, or give me by most recent reservation or oldest reservation kind of stuff. And then that will feel much better when we get that done, because it'll be much quicker, because we'll be calculating all of the sorting and the displaying on the servers, which are much more powerful than a browser. And then we'll just send down pages to the browser to display. So that'll be a much quicker process. That's not going to be till in the next year. But we understand, and we think more people will have things shared, and will want to go find things in there to either pull it out of the shared list or check on how it's doing. So that'll come later as we continue to evolve the reservation list. Can FamilySearch find an easy way to add unique sources from Ancestry as FamilySearch sources? I can use record seeks to source Ancestry record images to FamilySearch. However, if the Ancestry source is only an index, record seek won't source the index to FamilySearch. Anyway, most FamilySearch users are not familiar with record seek. Thank you. Yeah, record seek is a third-party product. I think it's free. I used it for a little while, but I've been off doing other things. I haven't gone back and used it again. And its idea is it's a plug-in into your browser. And when you're on a site somewhere, you can just go click record seek, and it'll take the page that's you're looking at and turn it into a source, attach it to a person in family tree. Yeah, right now, Ancestry has control on how sources are created for FamilySearch, and they haven't provided a way for us to do that ourselves. So we continue to visit, and we continue to explore options to see where we can make that better, because I do recognize it's not as good as it should be, and we'd love to get that working better. Okay, back to the live. Let's see what's here. Is there a plan to reopen the family history centers? Certainly they want to open the family history centers. I'm not privy to those plans, and I suspect that they will not open really fast. And many family history centers are supported by missionaries or retired couples. And because of COVID-19, we must be very careful and cautious. I'm not in charge of that. I'm not part of that. I don't know what the plan is, but I haven't heard any plans. And so I don't have any time frame to tell you when that would happen. So you just have to stay tuned, and eventually they'll start announcing it. So is there a plan to reopen? Have you thought about letting us add audio to documents? For example, I am adding letters and would like to read them so those who do not read cursive writing can listen to them. That's going to come. Well, let's see. We haven't done it to documents. We've hooked it to photos. Let me take that one. I think that's a good idea. There's no reason why we can't do that. Do we have that many people these days that don't read cursive? I guess we do. They don't teach that anymore, I think. Okay, got that one down in my list. Okay, my workaround is to take a photo of the page and then add the audio. That would work. So, Raina, that's a great idea. You could take a picture of the page. It's not text if somebody wants to copy it, but it works just as well. And then you can add an audio. But there's no reason we couldn't stick an audio. And once again, when we get the new memories, I told you could put multiple individual memories into one big one. And so theoretically, you could take your letter, that's a document, and the audio and put them together in one memory. So because we wanted to make it flexible because people have all sorts of different things they want to hook together, a picture and an audio and a document of some kind. All righty, it's 8:13. Go back to my list. I don't have any more questions over here. And I even went through some of the other ones we did last week. So let me look here. All right. So does anybody else have any more questions? Just go ahead and start asking if you do. I'll think for a minute and see what things I can share with you. As you know, what happened to my light? There you go. As you know, the temples are closed. They're starting to open. I just want to remind everybody that we are continuing to extend the reservations day by day, and we'll continue to do so until we come to a time when the temple department and us agree that there's sufficient enough temples to start expiring. We don't have a plan to expire temple by temple at this moment, so I suspect it'll be fairly liberal before we turn on the expirations. That doesn't mean that all the temples won't. I mean, I don't know how it'll end up. We'll see. It could be we do it when there's no temples left to open, or then maybe do it before then. So I just wanted to remind you of that. And when the expiration extension stops, what'll happen is you will have left on your reservation, you'll have left the same amount you had before we started extending it. Unless you had less than 90 days, then we'll give you 90 days. So nobody will have less than 90 days once we stop extending the expirations. But you may have more than 90 days if you had more than 90 days before. All right, so some questions have come in. Any plans of any type of virtual family history programs, half day, all day? We do have Facebook Lives and Instagrams and things like Instagram videos and things like that we've done for a while. It's kind of died off a little bit. I suspect that's because some of the people that were best at it were gone by on vacation or whatever. But you never know. We may do some classes. I don't know what would happen there. It's not really in my space, but it wouldn't surprise me if something. Jared says, if we don't have the centers open, can we get the Nottingham films online? They're currently restricted to family history centers. No, I'm sorry. We actually tried and went and visited with our legal department, and they reviewed the contracts, and I think they may have reached out to some record owners, and we just can't, that violates our contracts. So we're not allowed to restrict things that are not available. Things are available only in a family history center online. Sorry. When will ordinances be global rather than temple district? That's going to happen after we start. once we start the expirations up again, then that's the next work we have after that. We'll probably start working on it sooner because we're not going to wait for the COVID break to end. We're just going to start working on it, but we're probably not going to turn it on until after we're done and temples are open. Robert, I just moved a photo of a record over to documents in memories, and it is letting me record a memory. Yeah, because it's yeah, I took a photo. Yeah, so that works. When will shared with temple ordinances become global? Same thing. Our plan is to do that after all the temples are open. Is probably when we'll end up turning that on. We miss FamilySearch Live and Wendy. Yeah, I do too. She's great. I believe Wendy is doing a live for Juneteenth. Yeah, Wendy is really a fun person. I really like her. She's great to be around. She's a happy person, and she's just a great person. And Linda says the Layton, Utah Family Search Center is beginning to teach classes using Zoom starting in July. Check out their classes page for more information. Wouldn't surprise me if more family history centers start doing Facebook Lives. I know that some other local places are doing that as well. There's some community groups that do family history. All right, everyone. Let's see. We got about it's 8:20, so I got about another 10 minutes. Let me go look if there's something in here that I think would be interesting to talk about or get your take on. I guess I should get your take on the colors. Oh, I guess I should say we noticed, or someone pointed out to us that the blue temple color looks just like the record hints blue, and so it gets confusing when you see them side by side, especially in the Sense view. And so we're going to take care of that. We're going to change one of those colors to make them darker so you can distinguish them better. And I also ought to say that people are doing a lot of good work during this downtime. We've had a lot of people contribute, go through the hints and put in new people. I think that I'm safe to say that last month we hit an all-time record of 10 million people being added to Family Tree in 1 month. That's the first time we've ever hit 10 million. We've been hovering around 7 to 8 million. And so we hit 10 million last month. So thank you very much for your work there. I'm sure your families and those others in your family distant are grateful for that being put in. Let me just see. I want to look, see if there's anything interesting that's happened in the last week or so that might be kind of fun to talk about. Or any more questions out there. Let's see. Yeah. So Warren says he shares them to the temple, and it was 125 different temples that used it. Well, most of that's from Ordinances Ready, because we haven't set up the back end temple prints to be global yet. That's what I was talking about with the going global. But if people at Ordinance Ready is getting clicked all over the world, and a lot of times the people that are clicking it are people that don't have access to records or don't have deep knowledge into their family, so they get through their family pretty quickly, and then they want to keep coming to the temple, and so they're taking names from all over the world, and I think it's a wonderful thing, and they get to go to the temple, and we and our ancestors or whoever's ancestors they are get the blessings and the opportunities that come with it. So I think it blesses us all. S. Sorensen said, I had a person contact me to thank me for filling in blanks to her family with record hints I had attached. That was fun. It's always great to help others, and this is amazing work, and it makes you feel different. It makes you feel connected, and even to the people that help you that may or may not be any close family, but this is great stuff. So I hope you're doing good with the 4 temple colors, the new reservation list, the ability to see ordinances that are shared with a temple on a person page and reserve them, being able to contact people who reserve them from the person page, and all those changes. We've been working hard on them for quite a while, and so it's nice to get them finally out the door. And we'll find bugs along the way. That just happens when you have a big chunk of piece of software that several teams have been working on for 6 months. It's when you test it and you try to get everything you can think of, there's always a few that sneak through. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your willingness to keep coming. I hope FamilySearch is good for you. I guess we're looking at trying to we're looking at ways to make things more appealing to look at. So think of the Google family tree. So we have a family tree out there that Google knows about. You can type in someone's name with their sort of birth range, and you'll actually see FamilySearch person pages, but they're a little bit different looking, and we want to make them look better and more interesting. So we're kind of looking at that to try to make that more appealing, because I think those kinds of things make you feel excited about your partner. Yes, Linda, thank you. I forgot to remind everybody that we have a new partner called Filet, which is offering free accounts to members of the church for French records. If you have French lines in your family, and they have great collections, in my understanding, of French records. You certainly want to go into Partner Access, FamilySearch.org/Partner Access, I think it is, and go in there and sign up for a free account over at Filet, and then you can use their records to find out more about your French ancestors. Katie, the green temple icon is a little misleading because it looks like they haven't been reserved, but they are and have been shared. That is true. If some people would have us have 15 different colors or 20 different colors, and that's just too many. Even the 9 we had were difficult for many people to remember what each of the colors meant. Usually somebody just focused on a particular color. I like the orange, I like the reds, I like the whatever, and they always went for that. But it was complicated, and they wanted to have more legends laying around so they could find out what the colors meant. So we decided we need to simplify. So we went to 4. Gray, it's done. Green, it's ready. Blue, it's in progress, meaning someone's reserved it, somebody shared it, somebody done something. And then orange, I guess, orange for it needs more information. So all the oranges are ones that aren't being able to go to the temple. Sometimes they're legit because not available if it's a particular person that's maybe sensitive or something, it may not be available, but the rest of the time it's usually just some data you need to fix, like a standardized date or place. Yeah, and we're looking at that, Kathy. You can click on the green, and you can tell right away what it is. But that is an extra click that frustrates people. But we're going to let it ride for a while and see how it goes, and see as people get used to it. When you get something brand new, and this only happened a couple of days ago, it's still shocking and still very, very new, and so it feels very crazy. And usually it takes you a little time to start feeling a little more comfortable, and you get a pattern, and then you're good to go. All right. Well, I think I've blabbered enough, and you're probably sick of hearing from me. And there are no more questions because you know everything now. So I'm just going to go ahead and say thanks very much to everybody for all you do. Thank you for participating in this great work. Thank you for playing in FamilySearch and helping the world understand that we're all related. And boy, if we could really get people's hearts to understand that, don't you think we treat people differently than what we've seen on TVs and things like that? and each other and in the neighborhoods. So just remember that, and good luck to you. And we will see you next time. It's been a joy to be with you tonight, and I hope you're safe and healthy and your family is happy. We'll talk to you next time. Watch for that Facebook Live over there so we know when to do this again. See you all later. Bye-bye.